Bill did an extraordinary job in the housing bill. We'll talk about that in a moment. But I've got to address a very sobering reality that is facing the country this morning. I did it with the House Republicans, and I was pretty animated this morning. I was up late last night, as I'm sure many of you were, and you saw the result of this latest, these primary elections for the Democrat Party. The headlines this morning say it all. I've got a collection of them here. Socialist Earthquake, one of them said. Mamdani candidates sweep New York House races. These are socialists. These are Marxists in their ideology. Next headline, Mamdani hails new chapter for Democrats, one of the Chiron said this morning on the news. Hakeem Jeffries, my counterpart, the Democrat leader here in the House, was booed at some of these return parties last night. You saw that on social media and some of the clips. When he was being interviewed on the screen, the crowds in New York, in his own backyard, in the Bronx, in one of these districts, were booing him. And they shouted, "You're next." Hakeem Jeffries has a tall task ahead of him right now. He's got to go out and somehow make a credible pitch to Democrat establishment donors that that's a good national investment right now. That's a tough one to make. He has just proven that he cannot even hold the line in his own backyard. How can he possibly defend against the Marxist march around the country in these other districts? This is not your father's Democrat Party, as we say all the time. Last night, among the incumbents who lost, Adriano Espiat, who's chair of the Democrats' Hispanic Caucus, Dan Goldman, who was mocked for his Jewish heritage in a coffee shop in New York and maligned online because of that. The Democrat Party, the socialists, the Marxists, have nominated some of the most radical candidates to ever run for office, and they're running for Congress. The insurgent left is on the rise. I was reminded all last night and this morning about the warning, the admonition from the Gipper, President Ronald Reagan. And he reminded us constantly, freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. And he said, it's got to be fought for, it's got to be protected, it's got to be passed along to the next generation so that they too will know the same liberty, opportunity, and security that we've known and frankly too often take it for granted. He said freedom is not passed along in the bloodstream. It's got to be fought for. And these are the times that Reagan was warning about. He was warning about communism overseas. Now it is on our own shores. And it is a very serious time, and every American needs to wake up and understand a threat. I want to share with you some of the lowlights, some of these candidates who are emerging through these through the processes. Last night made crystal clear, as Leader Scalise said, that Zohran Mamdani and AOC and Bernie Sanders have just taken full control of the Democrat Party, of what was left of it. Across the country, Democrats have candidates winning primaries and rising through the ranks. Here's a few of them. Vang in California, one of the Democrats, she won't say the Pledge of Allegiance. Hamawy in New Jersey, Democrat candidate, socialist candidate, has ties to Al-Qaeda and other terrorists. Chevalier won last night in New York over Hakeem's counter endorsement. She says she wants to abolish the border. She doesn't want a border for the country. Mendoza in Arizona wants to decriminalize trans prostitution. Apparently that's the thing. James in Iowa wants to apologize for being white. Garriott in Iowa performed a Satanist wedding. And Bennett in New Jersey stopped going to church because Trump voters were there. This is just a sampling. And these kind of people have been popping up. You've been hearing me say for weeks, there are many Mamdanis popping up all around the country. It is a dangerous thing. This is not a joke. We're in a fight right now to save the republic. And every American needs to take this seriously. You need to wake up. This upcoming midterm election is not the midterm elections of years ago. This is going to decide the direction of the country. Are we going to maintain our status as a constitutional republic on our 250th anniversary? Or are we going to make a new choice and go down some road towards a communist utopia? That's the choice right now. We've been saying for months it's a contrast election. We've been saying it's a contrast between common sense and crazy. That's exactly what's going on. They give us new illustrations every day. And these radical candidates are self-describing, they're self-identifying as Marxist. They want to fundamentally transform this country. And sadly, many of these Democrat candidates and their voters just don't have the same zeal and affection for America. They don't appreciate the freedom that we have in this country. They're not even going to celebrate on July 4th. There's a new Gallup NBC poll that came out. Did you see that? Only 29% of Democrat voters that they polled said they're proud to be an American. What happened to the Democrat Party? They compared the poll from just 20 years ago, where it was 90%, because that's where Republicans are, above 90%. 29%. Over half of Democrats now say they would rather live in another country. What a split screen we're seeing. Right now, we're triumphantly hosting the World Cup games all around the country. And we're seeing people from different countries come and get a little taste of America, a little taste of freedom, of our culture and our our society, and they appreciate it so much more than these socialists running for Congress. Fans across the country are truly enjoying our world-class facilities and the incredible atmosphere on the field and off the field. Thanks to social media, we're seeing a lot of these. This has been encouraging to see. The visitors appreciate what we have. Dutch travelers are in all Buc-ee's. German players took a midnight trip to the Waffle House. It was the greatest thing they ever seen. English fans are roaming the Everglades. Japanese tourists marveling over free chips and salsa at a Mexican restaurant in Texas. Don't forget your blessings. People from Europe and Latin America, many countries around the world, many of whom, here's the key, they grew up under repressive state-controlled economies. They've never known freedom. They've never known these kinds of things. And they're seeing them for themselves, the genius of America's system. A system that rewards risk takers and entrepreneurs and job creators and innovators and people who create jobs for others and expand the economy and opportunity and broaden the pathway out of poverty for more people. That's what the Republicans stand for. That's what French Hill fought for in the housing bill, to give more people a chance, to restore the American dream. That's what we promised to the voters, and that's what we are delivering.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
All right, listen up, America. House Speaker Mike Johnson just called it exactly what it is. A socialist earthquake ripping through the Democrat Party. The New York primaries just went full Marxist, and the radical left is swinging a sword that's straight at the throats of this country. And that sword? Radical Islam. This is episode 1 of a series I'm going to be doing. Islam is a sword that the left are using to slit the throat of America. This is why you can't handle the truth, because the truth is ugly, and it's happening right now. They're not hiding it anymore. The Democratic Party ain't your daddy Democrats anymore. It's been hijacked by socialists, Marxists, and radicals who are teaming up with Islamic ideologies to tear this republic down. They dangle free stuff in front of you, free healthcare, free housing, open borders, equity, but the price is your freedom, your sovereignty, your America. You give them power, they slit the throat of everything that made this country great. The Pledge of Allegiance, they won't even say it. The flag, they turn their back on it or wipe their hands on it like a dirty napkin. Borders, they want them erased. And the real Americans, well, to them, we're the problem. I want you to take a look at a lot of these people here that are just taking over. And this is seriously, but you need to watch this.
I'm Christina Awayo in Dallas, and here are your top stories. A Democrat congressional candidate has refused to say the Pledge of Allegiance and turned her back on the American flag at multiple Sacramento City Council meetings.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which
I wish I was there. I'd take my boot off and throw it right at her.
God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sacramento City Council member Mai Vang, who's running for Congress in California's 7th Congressional District, is in a tight race to unseat longtime Democrat Rep. Doris Matsu. She is the daughter of refugees, the eldest of 16 children. She represents District 8 on the council and has served since 2020. Vang previously tried to explain away her actions, saying she does it, quote, to center our communities and remind myself of the injustices and harm that continue to affect so many, both locally and across the globe, under this nation's influence. She added hashtag Free Palestine and hashtag Keep Families Together and wrote, quote, we must not tune out, but instead we resist. We surround ourselves with loved ones, take time to rest, remain vigilant, and stay steadfast in the fight for equity, justice, and humanity. Dave Cushman, chair of the San Joaquin Republican Party, said Vang is trying to copy far-left Representative AOC. Meanwhile, a Democrat consultant slammed it as, quote, completely disrespectful to veterans and their families, adding it's patriotism 101. You say the Pledge of Allegiance, even if you don't agree with everything. Primary voters in the district decide on June 2nd whether that's acceptable for Congress. That's what you need to know. In Dallas, Christina Awayo.
This makes me goddamn sick. So, this is one. I mean, I don't understand. They come here and they think that they're so oppressed. They think that they're such a victim Go back to your own fucking country and see how worse it is. Seriously. I'm not stopping here. Let's go. I got more for you guys.
For more on all of the developments, but most notably this incredible sweep here in New York City and Mamdani flexing his muscle, we are joined by Democratic strategist James Carville. James, great to have you on the show. So the headline in
This is James Carville. This is the guy that hates Trump more than anything.
Socialist Earthquake
pay
leaves
attention.
Democrats reeling. One Democratic lawmaker said, "Holy shit, S-H-I-T, buckle up." A Democratic strategist said, quote, "We will not stand by as our party contemplates writing this road to ruin." Are they just all, is this hysterical reaction, or are they right?
This is 90% hysterical reaction. It's 3 seats in New York City. Okay, come on, let's get real. And by the way, 2 of them, I don't think are even Democrats. This Chevalier lady, they should not seat her in the caucus. Her views are totally against anything that any Democrat has. We believe in pluralism. She doesn't even believe in interracial dating.
Yeah.
I mean, who would? I don't think there's a place in the party. By the way, I'm not sure she wants to be a Democrat. Go do something else. Form your own party.
Yeah, you're talking about Darializa Chevalier. She wants to abolish ICE. She at one point wanted to abolish police. She wanted to abolish all deportations of anyone, anywhere. In past social media posts, she called veterans war criminals, called President Biden a rapist, said COVID came from France, not China. Who is this person? And she just unseated an incumbent Democrat.
She is not a Democrat. Okay, that is pretty clear. And frankly, I think a lot of Democrats feel like I do. I don't have any problem, just no washed up consultant, but I wouldn't seat her. This is not who we are. And we should just say, look, you duly elected, have your seat in Congress, but you're not getting any committee assignments when the Democrats get the majority. And by the way, as Jamie Harrison, the former Democratic chair, said, all of these people hate Democrats. Why do you want to run as a Democrat? Start your own movement. If it's such a powerful, sweeping movement that's got momentum everywhere, then go ahead and be at the head of it. Don't use the Democratic Party to advance it.
Yeah.
Make sure you call it the Communist Party, too.
The animating force behind all 3 of these Mamdani-backed candidates is a real strong anti-Israel ideology. At that party where they were chanting "You're next" to Hakeem Jeffries, they were also chanting "Free, free Palestine." They weren't chanting free healthcare or free, they were chanting free Palestine. And Congressman Goldman, who lost his seat last night, warned that anti-Semitism will be the undoing of our democracy. Is he right?
Well, it's disgusting. Okay. And you got to be careful not to conflate 2 things. You can be hugely anti the policies of the government of Israel,
Right.
which I would certainly describe myself as one. But when you say I don't think Israel should exist, then then I don't have room for you. I have all the room in the world to criticize Israeli policies, to criticize the settlements, which I think were stupid, ignorant to start with, and they continue to be. You can criticize whether or not they reacted strategically to October the 7th. That's all fine. That's all fine. But once you start, and you can be as critical as you want of the government, but when you start to, they don't have to exist, or you run into against the concept of Jewish people, then you got no place at my table. I can tell you that. I'd rather go to post without you and take my chances than go to post with you, which I'd still be taking my chance. I think the smart political move is not to seat these people. Or some of them you want to be like Brad Lawton. I'm okay. I like Dan Goldman. I would have voted for him, but the guy's okay. He's left of me, but that's okay. He described himself as a liberal Zionist, which I would almost describe myself as.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to draw the line here somewhere, and it's going to take a definitive reaction, I think, from some.
Okay, even before he gets started, Carville, do you see how these guys are bending? Well, maybe him, maybe that, maybe I'll accept that. There's so much in wanting to be power. They don't care who they sacrifice to do that. Who the lamb's being sacrificed? Us. Us. All that shit you think they're doing? No, they're sacrificing us. And they're going to lose. You see, they're losing it themselves. It happened in 1979. They helped these people get in there, and then they turn around and just cut them out. So here's this Hamawy, whatever his name is. Now this guy's a veteran, a doctor. He did a lot, but it's important to realize just because you did a lot here, don't mean that you can sit here and be anti-American after, and then we're going to accept it because no, it's not what you've done in the past; is what you're doing now. I fought for my country back then. I'm fighting for it now, and I'm not sitting there supporting some Al-Qaeda or some other goddamn movement. Take a look at this. And you know what? Honestly, the person who's promoting him here, this cocksucker right here, anytime he opens his mouth, dicks fall out of his mouth. That's how you know this person's not somebody we should be not looking at here. See for yourself.
Adam Hamawy, stud. Incredible background. One of the kindest people that I've ever met. It was an honor to be able to aid him in the congressional race that he was running in. A guy who's been there and put his life on the line on numerous occasions to help those who have far less than he ever could. A combat medic, a decorated war hero, someone who was in Bosnia, someone who was there at 9/11. At ground zero at a field hospital, sewing people back together. One of the people whose lives he saved was Tammy Duckworth in Iraq. So how did New York Times initially report his victory? Dr. Hamawy, a U.S. Army veteran, faced questions about his past association with an Egyptian cleric who was convicted in 1995 of a conspiracy to wage a war of urban terrorism. I said, New York Times, can you please have some decency about a decorated war veteran, combat surgeon who saved Tammy Duckworth's life, who treated 9/11 first responders, and was in Gaza during the genocide? I get that he's Muslim and an anti-Zionist, but this is a shameful and racist subheader, to which the New York Times, to their credit, I guess, I don't want to really give them credit for it because they should have never actually fucking posted that shit. Disgusting. They did actually change their subheader. Dr. Hamawy, a U.S. Army veteran, has been an outspoken critic of Israel's war in Gaza. His victory makes him the heavy favorite to win in November in the left-leaning district. But the very fact that they thought that they could come out of the gate swinging with that, as I showed you, was like a liberal version of the exact same thing that Fox News wrote about him.
All right, I had enough of hearing that motherfucker's voice. That's a goddamn pussy. When he would sit there and they were coming after him when he went down to what was the fucking what was the fucking place down there? Not Venezuela, but fucking Cuba. He came back, they're coming after me, and then shut the fuck up. Please, shut the fuck up. We're tired of hearing your fucking mouth. You act all bad and talk your shit. But a lot of us ain't fucking scared of you. We'll fucking slap the shit out of you, bitch ass motherfucker. All right, I'm done having nothing. Now you see where I'm at. I mean, look just what happened. In New York, Zohran Mamdani, well, he ain't that much of a dummy. You know what's sad? You know what's sad is New York is voting for this shit. They got people that are from outside and have taken over and they're voting for this stuff. Mai Vang or whatever, Mai Twang, whatever her name is. We don't have a choice here in California because they run this voting machine. We're harvesting ballots. All that stuff's legal. We don't have a choice. We can vote one way, but we're still going to lose, as we saw in the mayor thing. But New York, those people are dumbasses. They're complete dumbasses. You let these people take control. We need to start fighting back. So let's get back to Mamdani, that socialist mayor. This slate just swept the primaries. One of them is that Darializa, whatever character, the one that said she wiped her hands in the thing, District 13. She just knocked off the company. This is the woman who just reverted to Islam, who basically said she forgot the napkins and wiped her damn hands on the American flag behind her. She's out here disrespecting everything we stood for and we stand for while pushing abolish the border nonsense. Right here in California. Mai Vang, running for Congress in the CA7. She won't even say the Pledge of Allegiance. She turns her back on the flag during the council meetings. Even on Veterans Day, she stays seated and turns away while real Americans honoring the flag that so many died for. This is who we want making laws for us? For you? And don't get me started on this Adam Hamawy in New Jersey. Won his primary. Army Doc, sure. but he testified for Blind Sheik, the terrorist behind the 1993 World Trade Center bombing plot. He volunteered with groups tied to Al-Qaeda. These are people the left are nominating. This is the convergent folks. Marxism hates America and wants to burn it down. Radical Islam wants to conquer it and replace it. Together, they're the sword the left is swinging at our throats. Ronald Reagan warned us, freedom is never more than one generation from extinction. Well, that generation is right now. Polls show too many Democrats aren't even proud to be American anymore. While the world comes here and marvels at our freedom, some of these radicals spit on it. This is the enemy within. They use Islam as a sword because it divides us. It demands submission, and the left loves anything that weakens the West. But I'm not submitting. I'm not staying quiet. Where are my Minutemen at? Who are going to stand up? Who's ready to defend this country against this Islamic Marxist alliance? We don't need violence. We need voices. We need votes. We need to name names, expose them, push back hard. Listen, if you like this and you believe in it, share this, comment on your story, tag your reps, subscribe here on YouTube. This is a movement. The Minutemen are awakening. Real Americans who love this country fighting for our liberty before it's too late. If you're still supporting these radicals, well, they slit the throat of America. You're part of the problem. Wake the hell up. This is Sergeant O, the real Sergeant O. And I won't stop talking until America is saved. Next episode, we're going to go even deeper. So stay tuned. And this is why you can't handle the truth. Because the truth is calling you to fight. Thank you, guys.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!